Hello, Love Wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost! If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Watch and listen between two beers.
Hello, Love Wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
Nope.
No?
No. What does it mean, JPJ? I'm not at what? Where are we? What day is it?
It's Thursday.
Okay.
It means that it's another new episode of Between Two Beards Plug.
You damn right it is. What's up?
We're good, man. We're good.
Yeah.
Got a big show this
Big one.
evening. We got one of our good pals hopping on here and a few DC Hendrix in the house. We're going to talk some Night of Champions with him. Very excited that he is back on here with us tonight. But before we cue him on Pluggo, how are you doing this week, my man?
Besides my regular levels of exhaustion, I'm good. I've had coach a few baseball games this week, so I've been outside in this heat for days, so my body's just like, ugh, I'm too old for this stuff. Survived a power outage today. Thought things were going to get a little interesting here on the Between Two Beards front, but it kicked back on, so we're good, man. We're hanging. Yep, Ryan Sullivan is right. Pluggo has power. We got Sandy in the house. Fernando's in the house. Scott's in the house. Sullivan, he's here as well. It's going to be a good time, man. How about yourself?
We're doing good, man. It's hot these last few days. It was 101 degrees here.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. It was a great time. Oh,
yeah.
No, but we're doing good. We're doing good. Excited for the show tonight. Excited to talk some wrestling. So why don't you do that thing where you queue up our guest and we'll bring him on and we'll start getting after it.
Before we do that, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this out to everybody you know. We're a mere few follows away from 5,000 here at Love Wrestling. We'd love to hit that. So if you could be so kind as to smash that like button, and we will bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, DC Hendrix, the one and only's in the house. He's back, baby.
What up, fellas? What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back. Let's do it, man. Let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you.
Of course.
We are.
I gotta step up my background game. I gotta use fake filters because I'm not cool as Pluggo with all that stuff in the background.
Hey, look, man. When we started this, that wall behind Pluggo was bare except a piece of paper that said
that.
And it said "Hi, Mom."
It said "Hi, Mom."
The only thing it said.
Wow.
This is how it evolved. So it said "Hi, Mom," and it was crudely written by me. And it was on loose leaf paper, so it wasn't even a blank sheet of paper. And then somebody bought me one of these like little fake toy championships, and we taped that on the wall.
Let's go.
But then it was Mrs. Pluggo's genius idea to go, hey, you guys are starting to gain some traction. It might be a good idea that you look a little bit more professional. And she bought some shelves, and it started with 2 shelves, and then it is evolved into 3, and it's just full of stuff. I need to stop spending money. That's really what this comes down to. But thank you.
I'm jealous. Looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You look great.
Hey, look. Just trying to continue. I'm trying to get the 3 beards going, man. It's the 3 beers tonight. Let's go.
This is what it is. We love it.
Between 3 beards.
Yep. We got Sandy in the chat. He's Germany. It's 2 a.m. right now.
Hey, bless.
And he's here chilling, saying hello. So thank you for being here. We got the 3-way pro wrestling podcast boys in the house. Pierce is here, so welcome on in. We're gonna talk some Night of Champions. That is happening on Saturday, which
actually is happening. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that was some of the discourse earlier this week. But it's happening. They took off. They're there. Everyone got there safely. That's what we hope. Yep. Everything goes off without a hitch and everything is safe and secure. But I mean, you look at this card and it's looking very good. It's looking very good. Yeah. It's looking like it could be one of the stronger shows of the year to this point. There's 6 matches. All of them are good. So, the other stuff aside, I do think that we're in store for a good show this Saturday, DC. What do you think?
Yeah, very, very, very good show. A show that feels like a week ago, I felt like it still had a lot of room to grow. Like a week ago, I'm like, I don't know if I'm that excited about Night of Champions. And then all of a sudden you get a couple matches added. You get the final for King and Queen of the Ring. You get those finals lined up. You get Karrion Kross gets a match, which is the big story that we need to be. The man, Karrion Kross, getting his respect.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love that organic growth, man. When the crowd, you win over the crowd and you end up getting a match finally. Like, I'm a big Karrion Kross guy. Yeah. Very, very nice guy if you guys actually get to meet him. Very, very outgoing guy. Very cool. So I'm very, very happy for him. So over the last week, this card really came together and it's solid, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. No, I agree with you on all those points. Question though, I want to ask you guys, as an old timer, I'm an old timer. So Night of Champions used to be all the championship belts were defended on Night of Champions. Now, obviously, there's a lot of championships now, so that's probably not feasible. But there's only 2 championships being defended. Are we a little bummed there's not more, or are we just cool with it? Because they made the Queen and King of the Ring finals as part of this card instead.
JPJ, go ahead and hold those fingers up again. 2. 2 is the magic word.
Yeah.
That's the magic number.
2.
A total of 2 championship matches on this card.
Night of Champions.
On Night of Champions. Night of Champions.
Nuts. And then the night before, you have a women's championship match and a tag team championship match, which could have been on the card.
Yeah.
Look, I think they're very clearly saving. They've gotten really I don't want to say timid, but they've really gotten away from letting their champions have matches. Like, when's the last match EOS had? I can't even.
Yeah, we got 3-way pro wrestling podcast in the chat says, why can't Tiffy and Nia be on Night of Champions?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
Nia. Yeah. You got the Women's United States Championship, the tag team title match on the SmackDown side. Mm-hmm. Don't even know. I mean, I think the Judgment Day is number 1 contenders again on Raw for the tag titles. You could have just thrown that on the card, I guess.
There's even a second women's championship match tomorrow night because Julia and Zelina are fighting as well.
So I forgot honestly about that one.
So there's more championship matches on SmackDown tomorrow than there are on Night of Champions the next day.
And I don't. I'm going to ask a dumb question here, but it's Night of Champions or the SmackDown, is that in Saudi Arabia as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Just make the name King and Queen of the Ring.
Right, because didn't they have the King of the Ring was a pay-per-view at one point, or at least a major tournament before it got to the pay-per-view stat? Just do that. I don't know why they called it Night of Champions. That just threw me. Shout out to Dan Brown. He's in the house. Congratulations to our buddy Dan. Just became a member of the Clean Comedy roster, if I'm not mistaken. So good for you, dude.
He got
certified. He got certified.
Yes, he got certified, which is pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
He's a Guardians fan.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So DC, you like that?
Yeah, I like the Guardians. So
Oh, it's good because I hate my baseball team. So that's pretty good. I'm glad you guys are enjoying
Big
what
market
you're
baseball team, itty bitty budget.
because my baseball team sucks.
you got an all-star.
Yeah,
Everybody gets an all-star
yeah.
DC.
I know
Sure.
that's about the only.
sure.
Hey, I got Pete Crow Armstrong, baby. I'm in love again.
Oh, Cubs are having a good time.
I haven't
Cubs are
felt
having a
that.
good
I
time.
haven't felt this way about a baseball player since Javi Baez was doing all the cool
There you
things
go.
he used to do. So
He went down
Got
fast.
all the bragging rights in that category.
And that's fair. That's fair. My team just trades away their generational stars. That's what we do. So,
but you know, it's funny. You guys have
Oh, we
probably,
do.
I probably have the best team on the screen, but watch the least amount of it because the Cubs marquee network is expensive.
It is.
That's fair.
It's ridiculous. I get more White Sox games than I get
see,
anything else.
This is where. So I have been a lovely subscriber of T-Mobile as my cell phone provider.
Yeah.
And I get MLB TV for free every year.
Oh,
Every
nice.
single year.
$180 value for free just because I go to T-Mobile.
Love it.
Love it. It's the best day of the year when they go, hey, today's the day to redeem. I go, thank you. All right, let's do it.
Maybe when I stop coaching so much and having to go travel all week, I might bite the bullet on some MLB TV one day. But I'm not home at this point, so it's kind of like
it's fair.
I just go watch Little League baseball and said, "Hello, Rachel Reynolds, welcome in."
Hello. All right.
Hello.
We got to start. I could talk about baseball all day.
We could, but it sounds like you guys are going to do a lot of that at some point.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be depressed right now. I'm excited about Night of Champions. I'm excited about having DC here in this show. If I start thinking about the Red Sox, I will cry
and then
on
you
stream,
couple it, and
I don't have time.
And you couple it with the Bruins. And
I don't care about the Bruins.
The Celtics and the Patriots. It's struggle busted in Boston, baby.
I don't care. Like right now, I don't care about them. Baseball. Listen, I care about all. Baseball is the sport. It's what I grew up on. It's my favorite sport.
Yep.
And I'm a 40-year-old man, but I still love baseball like it's part of who I am. And my baseball team has been terrible for 4 fucking years.
I'm a Mariners fan, so look.
All right.
You got 4 years. I got
Mariners fan. I have a friend of mine who's a Mariners fan, and for some reason, for the last 20 some odd years, we've joked about. Maybe not that long, maybe like 15 years when we were adults. We always joked about, like, if the Seattle Mariners ever got won a World Series, would he get a tattoo? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I'd get it with you, buddy. And then every year when they're eliminated from contention, there's that, hey, tattoo safe this year.
Yeah, it's not happening in our lifetime.
Man, it's just like, and it's just my thing is I like watching the sport of baseball. I watch the games. I like watching all the games. This is the dumbest team I've ever seen. Every night there is a dumbass base running bullshit. There's terrible errors. They're swinging it. They are the dumbest team of all time.
See what you did, Pluggo?
And it's been this way since
I've been doing this for 4 years.
And 21.
I knew exactly what was going to happen today.
And it's just, I don't care that I'm happy the kids are up. I don't care that they're batting 201. I don't care. It's growing pains. They're rookies. They're 20 years old. I don't care. I'm cool with them sucking and figuring it out until they get good. I'm cool with it. Because you see the flashes, they're there. I cannot stand people, at bare minimum, if you're a pro baseball player, you should know how to field a baseball.
You got
bare
that right.
minimum.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, man. Angry.
Yeah.
And
did anybody see Tiffany start throw out the first pitch?
Unfortunately, yes.
She missed by, remember that scene in Major League when he goes just a bit outside, and it was 15
Are we talking like 50 Cent style?
About.
It's about the same.
Okay. It was close. 50s was worse, but hers is like right there.
What do you think happens there? Do you think they literally do they not do a couple warm-up throw? Like, how do you
I think it's nerves. It's nerves.
It has to be, right? Because there's no way.
I mean, first of all, probably just not being familiar with it.
Do you guys really think, hold on, full stop. You two really think Tiffany Stratton is warming up in the bullpen? She's at home taking reps off the screen, bouncing. Come on. You know, Tiffy went in there cold and said, I got this, and it just didn't work out.
I'm not saying
there
that.
Ain't
but like,
no way. Before
she goes out there, you're not like at least getting you're not just like,
You think she's out there warming up, getting in a bullpen sesh? Come on.
Do you want what happened to happen? Like, are you
right?
That's why I would be warming up. I'm not making a fool out of myself.
I will say this: we're talking about it for a reason. That she thrown a strike down the middle, we probably wouldn't say a word.
I think she would prefer that we weren't saying a word.
Exactly.
But I also don't think she's out there getting, backup catcher. They're working on signs. She's just.
I'm not saying. Well, first of all, you know what I meant.
She's taken away from her day job to.
What is she doing? What is she? You're there before the game for the stupid ceremony. Just throw the ball to someone.
She's taking pictures and drinking at the bar, having a good time.
It's not like she had to prepare for Night of Champions or anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just toss a ball once. Yeah. Hey, all right. All right, cool. I can do that. Great.
She pulled it out of Allen Iverson. She said, we're talking about the ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah.
We're talking about the ceremonial, not a game, not what I do for a living, just the ceremonial first pitch.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, I didn't even see it, and I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
When you see it, you might even be more upset about it.
I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I want to know.
All right.
I expect better from our world champion. That's all.
That's right.
You're representing all of us there.
Yep.
Come on now. We got a bad enough stigma as it is. Some of it deserved, but come on. The Hardy Boys threw out the first pitch at the Mets tonight. I saw that on the social. I didn't see the pitches, but both the Hardy Boys were there. Nice. And they threw out the first pitch at Citi Field tonight. So hopefully, although I did hear that they both didn't throw it from the mound. So come on, guys. Come on. What a grown-ass men. Grown-ass men.
That broke their bodies for this business. They probably can't get it there.
Yeah,
that's no disrespect.
But they can wrestle in 2 nights? What are we talking about? You can't throw it from the fucking mound? Anyway. Let's talk about Night of Champions. All right.
Well, Jeff and Matt Hardy will never be a guest.
No, they know I love them. Just throw it from the mound.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, we just cross them off.
Yep.
Come on. No, stop it. Stop it. I appreciate them. Now, before we do, Jeff Hardy, a little while ago at this point, he said that if he did not run into his demons and his situations, that he would have been a bigger star than John Cena. That he said that publicly. He said that in an interview.
I mean,
how do you feel about that? Remembering how liquid hot Jeff Hardy was. If he didn't run into, again.
What was that reaction you said, DC?
I mean, I loved Jeff Hardy, and I think he had a great run for his career. But yeah, he should stop talking.
It's fair.
That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, he was. I think
it's a what if.
He was really popular at that time, and I think he was the alternative to Cena.
It's like saying, like, all right, if I was 7 feet tall, wasn't fat and in shape, I'd be able to dunk on Shaq.
If you were 7 feet tall, we wouldn't be able to teach that.
Right,
true.
But like
you can't teach.
You can't teach that.
I would have been the greatest NBA player of all time.
You think so?
Yeah. If I was 7 feet tall, I could have been the greatest NBA player of all time.
You still could be. You just got to believe.
That's about the same thing Jeff Hardy just said.
All I remember is back in that height, everybody loved Jeff Hardy though.
I did.
Everybody loved Jeff Hardy. Everyone.
But John Cena, like, people were literally, I mean, they might have been dressing up as Jeff Hardy, but like I remember, like, because like I'm a little bit younger than you guys, so like John Cena was more of my era, and like
so this is emotional for you. This is an
and it's like people were literally dressing up as John Cena to go to school.
Yeah,
like Halloween.
Jeff Hardy, they had like they would wear the arm.
They had the
things.
armbands.
They did the armbands.
All you had to do is wear jorts if you're dressing like John.
That was it. Yeah,
but he had people wearing like the throwback jerseys and his wristbands and bringing the towels. Like John Cena was another level. I don't know.
So are you gonna cry when he finally hangs him up last match?
I'm gonna be in the building.
No, I'm not that serious. Wells Mania might.
Yeah,
Wells Mania will for sure cry.
Boy Wells.
Yeah. Shout out boy Wells.
Wells Mania. I'm throwing it out there right now. You have the official invite for the Thursday after John Cena officially retires, so that you can have a safe place to talk to
boy. Yeah, I'm not that level of a John Cena fan, but he definitely. Like if you grew up in the Attitude Era, you got Stone Cold and The Rock. I grew up in, the PG around there. So that's John Cena all day.
It's fair. That's fair.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I would look. I can't control my age. Look,
how dare you be born?
I was like 8 years old when The Rock and Stone Cold were facing each other. It's like I was watching it, but I don't remember
I was thinking about that today. I was like, I watched the Attitude Era and I remember it, but I don't remember. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't tell you the intricacies of some storylines.
Right? Yeah, I can't.
I could definitely tell you about moments and things how it made me feel in the time. But I'd have to watch it back.
One of the first moments that I remember as a kid that stuck with me forever was the vision of Stone Cold and his blood all over his forehead with Bret Hart. That was the first one, but anything that's about it.
Yeah,
that match is so good. That match is so good. Yeah. All right, let's dive in to this show that is on Saturday, and you had mentioned it, so we'll start with this gentleman. Finally, not only are we getting a Karrion Kross match, which are not happening enough, which hopefully this is the sign that they will be, but we are getting a PLE pay-per-view, as I still like to call them. Karrion Kross match. He is going one-on-one with Sami Zayn. We've seen this building over a little bit of time and backstage segments for a while now, and Sami finally had enough, and he punched him right in the face on Monday night. And it was a good one, too. It looked like he laid it in a little bit. And they're going one-on-one on Saturday. Super excited that Karrion Kross is having a match. I would love to see him win it, but I'm not sure he will. DC, you are the guest. I will let you go first before I swing it over to Pluggo. I know you're excited about this match as well, but do you think Karrion Kross is going to leave with a victory in this kind of rare PLE match for him?
Yeah, very, very excited for this match. It's really tough because, this is Sami's, that's his crowd. He's going to be performing in front of his people. Really hard to imagine him losing for that reason. And also hard to imagine him winning, or hard to imagine Sami losing as well, because storyline-wise, Karrion winning also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The only way it makes sense is if that's going to be when Sami finally flips the switch and snaps and goes heel. But I think Sami winning in like a snapping way, like he just snaps and just completely destroys Karrion and pins him. And Karrion, that gives him all. I could see him laughing, him and Scarlett after the match, like, I got him. There's the Sami. That's what I've been trying to do. And Karrion, I think this was just his moment to get on the card. I think this was definitely just trying to showcase him in front of a broader audience and give him his flowers that the crowd have been asking for. So I'm with you. It's hard to imagine Karrion winning this match. So Sami wins, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Pluggo, before you go, obviously.
Hi, honey. This is Pluggo.
Hey.
What's up? The love of my life, the apple of my tribal cheeks. I acknowledge you. What's up?
There it is. Hello, Mrs. Pluggo.
First lady of Beards. Yeah. So I was curious to see, would this match have happened had AJ and Dom, AJ not pulled out of going? Because that was the original match, right? And then this got added on Monday because they pulled that IC title match, which is great. I'm happy for it, but I'm curious if they would have lost, because they should have left it. Then that gives Sami something to do. Yeah, this is tough, man, because it's Sami Zayn. I think they want to keep him strong. I would love what you said about him snapping and getting a little bit more of a heel side to him, and Karrion finally breaking through, because he's been doing this. He did it with Xavier Woods. He did it with AJ Styles. maybe this is the guy that he finally breaks, and I think it would be super impactful if it was Sammy as the guy that he broke. He still takes a loss, but comes out the victor because that was his ultimate goal anyway. I don't think it matters in storyline wise if Karrion wins or loses, because I don't think he cares about that. I think he cares about making an impact and, you know, driving his message home. So I'm taking Sami Zayn, but I think hopefully we'll see some growth out of this for Karrion.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Sammy wins this match. I can't see Sammy losing over there in Saudi, to the point where I know this is way too early, but I think Sammy's winning the Royal Rumble there next year as well. Way too early booking, but yes, that is my early. But yeah, I think it's baby steps almost, right? Like we're getting a big time PLE match on a big show for Karrion Kross. I think he's going to look great, even in defeat. DC, what you said, I could see at the end of the match if Sammy has to just do a little bit extra to win, Kross being like, I actually succeeded in what I wanted to do, even though I lost, because that stuff seems to be more important to him than wins and losses, is like actually getting through to the people he's dealing with. And I think that's the route, and I think it kind of builds from there. You know, Sandy in the chat says everybody turns heel when they're dealing with Kross, and that's been the case so far, except Sammy to this point. So it makes me think that it might not happen on Saturday because it's not going to do it during Kross, but it makes me feel like we could be seeing the Sammy turn happening shortly after as well, if they wanted to do that.
I know that there's inherent value in face Sami Zayn, but right now it's not getting him anywhere storyline wise. He keeps running into these because he's too nice and these roadblocks. Eventually, like, you got to do something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, and he's been dealing with AJ Styles too, currently. So maybe I don't know what happens there, but I could see either one of those guys turning heel soon. If they wanted to go that route. So should be a good one. And then we got another match that was just added this week. And this one I'm really looking forward to. These two girls have a history. They have a history in kind of no rules matches. Rhea Ripley's last NXT match in her run was against Raquel Gonzalez at the time, but Raquel Rodriguez. And I believe it was a last women's standing match at the time. And she got powerbombed through the stage. Raquel powerbombed Rhea. It's a great match. And they have themselves a street fight on Saturday. And and these are two strong, big girls. They're going to beat the crap out of each other. This is like the lady meat type of match with plunder and weapons. And I am very much looking forward to this. I'll swing it to you, Pluggo. I mean, I would think that this is Rhea all day, but I think it's going to be a good time getting to that. However, Raquel does have some friends who could get involved and maybe change that. Pluggo, what are you thinking when it comes to this street fight here?
Yeah, I think it's pretty on the nose that it's probably going to be Rhea, but I just love this idea of showcasing Raquel and showing the world how good she is and how strong she is. And now I think she's just going to interchange with Roxanne, and that's going to be the tag title thing, how they're going to do it. So I was like, now that she's away from Liv, we can see what Raquel could do. I love these two feuding. I think it's a fun feud. I think that they could keep it going for a while if you wanted to give Raquel the win. I just don't see them in that setting, not having Mommy leave as champion, how over she is, and they're there to kind of appease that crowd. So yeah, give me Rhea. But also, by the way, what is with Pierce's just like inability to say anything to Rhea Ripley that matters? Like, she stormed right at that office, barely even got what she wanted out, and he was like, fine, whatever, I don't care, just leave it. He's like a dad who's just like given up. He's just like, go eat the candy, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, man. But it'll be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. DC, how you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much for every reason that Pluggo just said is why I have Raquel.
Yeah,
she's gonna get a lot of help, and they are really gonna really build that tag team while unfortunately Liv is out. And I think Roxanne is gonna be the main one that helps Raquel get that victory on Saturday. They're gonna build that trust. She helped her once. on Raw this past week, and you've seen Raquel finally help her up and embrace her and hug her. That's only the beginning. Roxanne's going to win that trust even more on Saturday when she helps her beat Rhea, who has been her nemesis since Rhea's emergence as mommy in the mommy era. She hasn't been able to beat her since. She's gotten the best of her. So I think Roxanne finally helps her get over that hump. Kind of like how Liv took over for Rhea and helped Dom finally beat his dad. Roxanne's going to do the same thing, help Raquel beat Rhea. So that's happening.
And I think that's exactly what they should do. Everything that Liv did to Rhea, Roxanne should do to Liv. And when Liv comes back, she should, in my opinion, Liv should come back as a baby face the second she comes back. And that is what you do. And that is what you do. And then you can even build towards Roxanne and Finn being aligned, because we see them talking a lot. And then you have Dom and Liv versus Roxanne and Finn. You could do, mixed tag. Like, it's just, and again, it's going to be a while because unfortunately Liv's injury is serious and it stinks because she was in the middle of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Not just her being one half of the tag titles, but she was clearly heading towards Nikki Bella at Evolution. There was rumor that it could be Raquel and Liv versus the Bellas even at SummerSlam. Like, all that is off the table now, at least with obviously Liv, which is just a huge bummer. But I think you really got to lean in on the Roxanne stuff and just whatever. Liv is going to get her medicine now. Rhea got her revenge way back when, but now Liv is going to have to sit at home and feel like Rhea felt watching somebody take all her shit.
Maybe Rhea steals Dom back.
Maybe. I mean,
hey, look.
I doubt that.
Either way, Liv got to feel that karma. Karma got to come back on her too. So
yes. And then I think if Liv comes back and she's a babyface, I think she's a top, like, she'll be one of the, she already was, but she will be without question one of the top stars in the women's division in that whole company as a babyface. I just think it'll be gigantic. All right. Now we get to the first of one of our 2 championship matches on Night of Champions. It is for the United States.
Technically speaking, Night of Champions is plural and 2 champions is a plural and multiple. So technically, they're not wrong.
Listen,
I guess
factually, not a incorrect statement. It is for the United States Championship. It is Jacob Fatu defending against Solo Sikoa, and this is my big, not swerve, but big thing of the. I think Solo is leaving with the United States Championship.
What?
I think JC and maybe even somebody else is going to help Solo beat Jacob Fatu. That's my big surprise of the evening. Well, I got a couple, but I always lean that way because I'm a fantasy booker, Mark. That's what I am. But I think that, JC, and I think we could see a Hikuleo potentially as well. And I think they're going to help Solo. And I think Solo is going to leave the United States champion. And I think Jacob will then run through everybody to get that belt back in the future. I think that's what they're going to do. DC, I'll let you go. Yeah, I'll go to you next.
So this is the one match where it's like, somebody's going to get involved, right? Like, Jimmy's probably going to be out there, trying to help Jacob Fatu. JC's going to be out there for Solo, but that was my question: is who, right? Because you brought up Hikuleo, and what about the Tungas?
That's true. I don't know where they are health wise.
I haven't really looked into that, but
because they would be the obvious answer would be them with Solo,
and who would they align with?
Yeah, well, because my thing is you can build to SummerSlam, and if you're gonna have, because now that Jay's not the champion anymore, you could do the Usos and Jacob versus Solo, Hikuleo, and JC, and that's a big 6-man for SummerSlam.
I think you
do that.
I think you nailed it, JPJ. I think you nailed it. I knew that I had Solo. I just didn't exactly have my reason why. It's just one of those times where it's like Solo has to walk out with the title. He's been way too over since being on the main roster. Has not gotten any gold. It's just one of those moments where it's like he has to walk out with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Pluggo, obviously, I before I swing it to you, I also think that Solo right now is the most interesting he has been to me since the original Bloodline ended. Like, I feel like they're letting him kind of be that funny dickhead character, and it's working for him. And I think the crowd is invested in him more now than they ever have been. And I'm invested in him more now than I ever have been. And I think Jacob chasing the title and going through Solo's group, I think that's where the money is. And I think you can do that if you want. PLUGGO,
how dare you guys? Listen, it's all gas, no brakes. It's not all gas. We're gonna break right here.
But is it a break if he loses?
We're gonna pump brake. We're
gonna
check. We're gonna check the brakes here. No, it's all gas. No
all
brakes.
Gas,
we don't even put our foot over there.
No brains. Come on, PLUGGO. No brains.
I don't have brains, but I got gas sometimes. That's another conversation for another day. But I'm taking Jacob Fatu. I don't care if it's 3-on-1, 6-on-1, Fatu and 5, baby. No, I don't know. I just want to be a little different. I don't think either one of you are wrong. I wouldn't be shocked if this is one of those. I wouldn't be shocked if either one of them won. Solo figures out a way once again to find somebody to come help him out. But I think Fatu's got some friends maybe we don't know about either, right? So maybe they'll neutralize it, and he still picks up the win. So I'm going to take Fatu to be different, but if we were throwing some confidence points on it, they'd probably be low.
Okay, it's fair. It is truly
I think they want to make a star out of Fatu and keep him winning. Maybe SummerSlam's the time he loses it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or maybe, but your guys' point, he wins it at SummerSlam, chasing
that's what I'm thinking, because you still got Saturday night's main event, and then you got SummerSlam, and then you got obviously the show. I could see Fatu running through JC and then having to run through Hikuleo all to get to Solo, win the belt back, and then after that, the next time he would lose it, we're going to the world title, because that's where that guy should be, but yeah. All right, it's time. Let's talk some Queen and King of the Ring tournament finals. We will start with the ladies in the Queen of the Ring tournament final. Not the final that I thought we were going to get when I first saw I thought we were going towards Jade Cargill and Charlotte. I thought that's what we were going to do. I just thought it was an easy way for them to get to that match. They had been building it up with stare downs a little bit. I thought maybe that's how they were going to get there, but I am not upset about what we are getting at all. And it is Jade Cargill. She did make it by defeating Roxanne Perez on her side of the bracket in the semifinal. And she is going against the person who returned in this tournament. That is one Asuka, who defeated Alexa Bliss last Friday on SmackDown. PLUGGO, I'm starting with you on this one, babe. Who's going to be the Queen of the Ring?
Still calls me babe after all these years.
My main squeeze, PLUGGO.
First and foremost, it is awesome to have Asuka back, right? I'm so happy she's back in the ring. There's this really fun, interesting dynamic going on right now with like a bunch of up and coming new talents, and then the veterans. Charlotte came back, Becky's back, Asuka, Alexa Bliss. So there's some really fun opportunities here. And I think this is a perfect opponent for Jade, because Asuka can wrestle. She's a Swiss Army knife. She can do any style match you need her to do. She's going to fit that mold. And we all know, no disrespect to Jade, her bag is not as deep as Asuka's bag in terms of wrestling skill. So Asuka will be able to slow the pace down to Jade in times, or pick up the pace and be able to bring General that thing. And I think at the end of the day, it's Jade's moment. She's going to get the title shot, because you got Naomi with the briefcase. There's a whole bunch of stuff we could do on SmackDown. And I think Asuka's going to have, I'm calling it now, this might be the best Jade Cargill match she's ever had.
I mean, yeah, I thought the Jade and Roxanne match was pretty good. But yeah, I think Asuka's just, I think she's been gone for so long that there are some people. Asuka's one of the greats. She's one of the greats. And I think this is going to be really good. I do think this will be, I agree with you, PLUGGO. I think you nailed it. I think this is going to be Jade's best WWE match to this point.
I don't think Asuka gets the flowers she deserves, because the Four Horsewomen kind of overshadowed that era, and she came in right towards like the end of it, where it was like the Four Horsewomen, and then it was like Alexa and Asuka were like the next two.
Yeah.
But she's an all-time great, man. I don't know why people don't put more respect on her name.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, it's a no-brainer end game SummerSlam. It's Asuka versus Io. That's what we're getting. That's where I think that's where they're going to go, and that has Asuka winning this match for me. DC, I'll let you round this one out. Who do you think is leaving Saudi as the Queen of the Ring?
Yeah, like Pluggo said, Asuka's one that doesn't really get her flowers, and that's why she's going to get it at Night of Champions when she becomes the Queen of the Ring.
Gang it up on me?
Yeah, like pat myself on the back a little bit. You know, a lot of times we make predictions and we can be completely wrong. So when we get them right, we got to pat ourselves on the back and we got to talk our shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
this was the final I said from day one. As soon as I seen Asuka was returning and Jade was on the other side, I said, that's the finals. You got two different stories that both have their reasons why they should win. And as soon as they started teasing Asuka and Io, started teasing that all over again, that stare down on Raw, when Io was like, look, we used to talk about this all the time. Are we going to face each other for the title? And Asuka's like, damage control's over. We're done. I'm coming for that. I want that right there. As soon as that happened, I'm like, yep, that just solidified everything that I already thought. I said Asuka was winning this from the beginning. A great way to return, a great way to instantly put her back at the top. Jade still gets lifted over in this. I'm sure she might not even win clean. Asuka might not even win clean. There could be some shenanigans in the match. You know, Naomi still got problems with Jade. You never know if she comes out and just messes with her. So we'll see. But I think Asuka at the end of the day gets her flowers and becomes the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think...
Well, you guys are wrong, but that's okay.
Okay. Listen. And I'm telling you, I want Io to be like excited that Asuka won, and then I want Asuka to beat the piss out of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want
my favorite wrestler, but like, look, that's I want that.
Yeah,
that's a good feud.
Vicious heel Asuka just going after Io, and that'll be so fucking good. Yes, and that's what I want.
That's not bad. That would rule, but I'm gonna say it right now. When Jade Cargill wins, y'all better expect some Jade Cargill gifts in the text thread that I'm gonna send to you all day that day.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying Jade would be undeserving. I'm not saying that.
Like DC said, if you're right, you got to talk your shit, and I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do.
I like it. All right. Well, on the other side, the finals for the men's, the King of the Ring. And it's a matchup that I have been waiting for since Cody returned. I think this is the first matchup we'll get with these two individuals. Maybe not right. We're going to get a proper feud between these two at some point, hopefully sooner than later here. But it is Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton. The semifinals of this tournament were Cody and his boys. That was who it was. Cody, Jay, Sammy, and literally Cody and all his boys were the semifinalists of this tournament. All baby faces, but it's Cody and Randy. They finally are giving it to us. This should be stellar, I would think. And I'm a little bit torn on what I think could happen. So we ended with you, DC, last time. I'm gonna let you go first this time because I want to hear what you guys. Yes, I want to hear what you guys, because I can talk myself into picking either guy.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, this was the more predictable bracket. I think we all agree it was going to be Cody Randy in the finals. But it's hard to pick it. You know what? Now that it's here, it's like I don't know what to do. But I do. I made my decision actually yesterday. I think. So the winner, we assume, will face John Cena, right? I mean,
well, they both represent SmackDown.
Yeah, so it
would be Cena or Punk, but it would be the winner of the war. It most likely will be John Cena.
It will be John Cena most likely. With that reason, I was at Backlash and just seen Randy and John. It's hard to imagine that happening again. I feel like they already kind of had their farewell match at Backlash. And it's just, I think this would be a great way to kind of get Cody back up there. He, after taking that loss at WrestleMania, it really set him back, especially the way he lost. It was a very ugly loss. I feel like it took away a little bit of his, I don't want to say prestige, but it just took away a little bit of steam, right? It's like, we still love Cody. He's still one of the top, baby faces in the world, but it's like, we kind of watched you get beat pretty clean by very old John Cena. So you got to do something. So I think him winning King of the Ring will be exactly what he needs to come out on top, get his confidence back, and then we get round 2, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and even possibly this time around it could be different. You know, John Cena's been teasing that babyface turn recently, and Cody Rhodes we've been wanting to turn heel. He's been teasing that lately, so it could even be very different come SummerSlam time. But for now, just staying with Saturday, I got to go with Cody Rhodes to come out as the King of the Ring.
All right, Pluggo, where are you at?
Remember last year's King of the Ring?
Randy Orton as well.
Randy
2 years
Orton
in a row in the finals.
Lost a questionable one to Gunther there.
He did.
Yep, sure did.
So in my mind, for some reason, like I feel like this is the moment where Randy realizes, hey, I got another shot at this thing. I'm not going to play Mr. Nice Guy here. I'm going to be ruthless with Cody, and that maybe sets them off for another feud. But I don't see that's the thing, the Cody Rhodes effect. And I think you're right. I think Cody and John is the story that needs a part 2 more than John and Randy or Punk. I mean, because although Punk and Randy would be fun, I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities we could do out of this.
Just wait till we get to that match, boys. I got some stuff.
So I have this vision of, because Cody, if you've noticed during this whole tournament, it's been his boys, like you said. It's been respect. It's been shaking hands. It's been doing the matches, and he raised Jay's hand on Monday, and it was all hunky dory. I don't think Randy's going to be about that life on Saturday. I think he's going to be like, look, I want to get back into that title picture, so I could see Randy RKOing the shit out of Cody after Cody wins. I almost picked Randy, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
I want to pick Randy.
I do too. I really, because two years in a row, losing in the finals,
like getting his win back, kind of thing. You know. However,
Randy could win and go after Gunther.
No, you have to go after the one of your own brand. That was what they. That's what they've said. That's what they've said.
That has never meant a thing.
I agree, but that is the verbiage they're using.
That's like me saying I'm going to start eating better. I don't mean nothing.
It's fair. It's fair. But like, listen, I'm just telling you what they say on the show, and what they say on the show is it has to be the champion of their own brand.
I don't know.
So technically, well, and again, we're going to talk about the world title match next, obviously, because I do have a swerve that could happen in that match.
Swerve,
however,
you
never know.
Night of Champions.
But I'm going to pick Cody as well, because I feel like I just can't. I don't know. Right now, as much as I want to pick Randy, I can't see Cody Rhodes not winning the King of the Ring. Like, it just seems like that is, and it's an easy way to get back to the sequel with Cena, in which I think that is where Cody could potentially turn heel to win the belt back. And that kind of helps John Cena turn babyface again, because Cody will do something. Because, we've seen over the last few years, everybody with the exception of Cody, when they've been going for the belt, they've turned heel to get the belt. Roman, John, I feel like Cody doing it to get it back, because that's what the title does to people. I think that's a fun story you could lean into. But I am going to pick Cody. But man,
clean sweep, Cody Rhodes.
I think Randy turns on Cody at a different time. Maybe not even on Saturday, but I could see like the begrudging handshake. What I could see, honestly,
all in it.
I would love it if it happened on Saturday, but what I could see happening is Cody actually beating Cena at SummerSlam as a baby, like as Cody, and then Randy comes out to celebrate and drops him with an RKO.
Like that too.
And then you end SummerSlam with Randy turning on Cody, and it's like, oh shit. All right. And then you can take me to Mania. You can take me to Mania with that if you want.
Or flip-flop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Randy wins it. Cody comes out to celebrate.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
Either
We're
way.
brewing now.
Listen, the way that I look at it, and we can start talking about the world title match here, is I don't think Cena's going to hold the belt the whole time. He's going to lose it at some point. I think between now and SummerSlam would be that window to me. And there's really only 2 or 3 guys in the whole company that can beat him for that title. And he's fighting one of them on Saturday in Punk. And the other one is Cody, and Randy is probably the third. I just don't think there's anybody currently besides those guys that you could convince me could beat Cena for the title, even though I would love it to be Ron Killings. That would be a blast. But it could be, I guess it could be Rollins with the Money in the Bank. There's very few guys. So now we get to the main, what we assume will be the main event. CM Punk, John Cena. Before we get there, John Cena last Friday on SmackDown cut his version of the pipe bomb promo. It was excellent. It was very, very good. This is easily the most excited I've been for a John Cena match since the return, and it's because of CM Punk. But this was my favorite rivalry of John Cena's. In my opinion, Punk is his greatest rival. This is the match that when Cena announced he was doing the farewell tour, this was the #1 match I needed to see on my list. I thought it would be the SummerSlam main event, but they're obviously doing it on Saturday. I really want CM Punk to win the title. What I want to happen is CM Punk to win and Rollins to cash in on CM Punk.
Ooh.
That's what I want to happen, because that makes all the sense in the world to me. And then you have Punk, who already hates Seth Rollins, chasing Seth Rollins for that belt, and that just makes all the sense to me. And it's an easy way. Punk is a guy that should beat John. That's what I want to happen. I don't know if it will happen. Pluggo, I'll start with you.
I want to live in a world where, like, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are hanging out at home, playing with their daughter, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden they're like, he's like, I got to run real quick. I got to go cash this thing in. And we see him hop on a plane, fly to Saudi, cash in at the main event. This is the best John Cena promo I've ever seen him cut. I'm not a John Cena fan. I've always been a Punk guy. Yes, Punk laid the groundwork, but Cena killed it on Friday. It was cool. It was a fun rivalry. I'm interested to see how it goes. Maybe you're right. We get some shenanigans with Seth, but I don't know if they want to pull the trigger at the Saudi show with John losing the belt. And as much as I'm picking CM Punk because I'm not ever going to pick against CM Punk, but do I feel good about it? Absolutely not. I think John Cena figures out a way to win. They'll come up with something. Maybe this is Seth cashing in on John Cena. I don't know. Cost it. Maybe he interjects himself, makes it a triple threat. Seth Rollins has been known to do that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't love it. But I don't know if Punk's going to get it done here. But I want him to get it done, so I'm picking him. So when he wins it, I'm going to be right.
Yeah, that's fair. DC, what are you thinking about this world title match?
Yeah, this is the match I think we're all waiting for. I'm with you guys. I really want CM Punk to win this match, but I don't think he is.
Do it for the boys. Come on, CM Punk. Do it for the boys.
I don't think CM Punk's going to get it done. I have a small feeling that John Cena, I don't know why. This is probably going to sound stupid to someone, but I think he's going to hold the title. I can see him holding the title until the end.
You think so?
He said he was going to leave with it, so that would be the most last stance thing.
He keeps saying it and keeps saying it, and it's starting to get it. He's starting to get to my head. He's starting to make me believe that he's really going to hold this thing this whole last year. But on the other side of me, the real John Cena, I don't think he would want to do that. I don't think the real John Cena would agree to hold the title, even if it was presented to him. I don't think he'd be like, no, I don't want to hog it my whole ass. I don't want to take away from, because remember, that's why Jay won the Rumble.
Yeah.
It's because, that whole thing where John Cena didn't want to take the shine away from, someone else that he could.
Yeah.
So I could see both sides. I lean more towards John Cena holding this title a while. It's hard to imagine him, at the very least, it's hard to imagine him going into SummerSlam with no title. I can't see it. Especially, as big as SummerSlam is this year. I think it's going to end up being a bonanza. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are going. I know that's your pay-per-view. It's going to be crazy. And I think it's hard to imagine John Cena walking in there with no title or walking out, to be honest. So, just right now, I can't see it. I think John Cena wins on Saturday.
Yeah, I think if I'm picking, I'm probably going to pick John. And then we're going to get Cody and John, I would think, at SummerSlam. I think that's probably what we're going to do here. I would love it if they just gave us a button. And Pluggo is usually the guy that roots for chaos. But I would love it. I would love it if they would just like, you know what?
I would love it too.
Go. It's an easy, you get belt off John, Punk wins the championship, Rollins, boom, there it is.
NXT is the show that does stuff like that. NXT will do that crap where it's like you think it's happening, and then JC Jane wins the NXT Women's Championship.
The worst is when I go, because there are nights I got to take. I'm like, sometimes I skip an NXT going, the card doesn't look super great. So like if I just catch the highlights and then they do something bananas, and I go, God damn it.
They definitely do more of that on NXT. So
for sure.
Main roster, it's usually chalk.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we get the okey doke. I think the okey doke is going to be Solo, and on this pay-per-view, that's
what I think.
While I would love CM Punk, well deserved to win that title. He's been fucking fantastic since he's came back.
Yeah.
This whole WWE return has been so great for him in his career. Mm-hmm. It's worked so well, but it's the John Farewell tour, man. You can't go against it.
Yeah, they wouldn't do the match twice, but imagine Cena does hold the title. I know you got to go right after we talk about this, DC, but imagine Cena does hold the title, and he is at that last show. What we're assuming is the show in Boston, Saturday night's main event, and his opponent is CM Punk, and CM Punk is in the John Cena spot where he needs to take the belt and save the company from Cena leaving with it, like Punk left with it in 2011.
Wow.
And that's, I would rather.
You can't write it better than that.
I don't think they would do it. I think this is probably the last and only Punk Cena we get on Saturday. Yeah. And I think that just, when that bell rings and they're looking across from each other, there's going to be a certain feeling that we all have. And it's going to be like kind of how we felt with him and Randy, where you're just kind of seeing it. And you're just like, this was a good time, man. You're going to be thinking, this was a good time. And, it's going to be special. It's going to be special. And I think they're going to have one hell of a match on Saturday. I expect it to be excellent. But yeah, DC, you are excellent, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, fellas. Hey, look, anytime you guys need a guest, anytime you guys want me on, I will do whatever it takes. I love you guys. I think you guys are great people. We need more like you in the wrestling space. So anytime you guys need me, I'm down to come on, man. I love your show. Love you guys. Keep doing the damn thing.
Hell yeah, we appreciate that. We feel the exact same about you. Before you get out of here, real quick, plug your stuff. Let the people know where they can find you, and then we will let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Yeah, you can check me out on Body Slam. We have a NXT post show each and every Tuesday night, right after NXT. You can check out the latest episode. My boy Corey Hayes jumped on with me in Amanda Savage's absence. We had a great episode there, but you can check me out every Tuesday there. I'm actually going to be writing for Body Slam a little bit as well, so bodyslam.net. And check out my podcast with my boys, WrestleHolics Podcast. We just teamed up with the Main Event Wrestling Network, and we're going to be doing a little bit more videos, but definitely check out the WrestleHolics Podcast as well.
Awesome. Yeah, go give DC some love. Go follow him. Great writer. Talks a little baseball, does a little baseball stuff too. Yeah. If you are into the non-wrestling side of things, if you're a baseball person, he's got some good baseball stuff too. Hopefully we can be chatting some baseball here soon so I can scream and cry and do whatever I need to do. So, but thanks for joining us, DC. We love you, man, and hopefully we can do this real soon.
Thanks for having me. Enjoy AEW, fellas.
All right. Take it easy, my man. Thank you.
See you.
DC Hendrix, everybody.
Boom.
The man. Love that guy.
We love that guy. Go follow that guy. He's absolutely fantastic. One of the best. He was shouting our praises. We should have shouted him more. He's amazing. While we reset, tomorrow night, LPW 38, Welcome to the Machine. It's going to be up on IWTV live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 Mountain. So if you're in Edmonton at 7 Mountain, that's going to be a good time. So go check that out.
They're always a good time. We got Billy Starks going against Zoe Sager on that show.
That's right. Sinner and Saint are in the house.
Sinner and Saint are on that show. We got our boy T.Y. Jackson going for the championship against Stephen Crow.
Mars the Specialist is going to be there. I heard he does things.
Yeah. I know Pluggo's not happy about it, but the two-time tag team champions will be defending their titles tomorrow night as well. It's
a non-title match, actually.
Oh, and wait,
defending. It's a showcase.
Oh,
and I'm okay with it now. We talked about it. I actually wrote some pretty nice things
Oh
about
my
him
God,
in the
did you?
LPW preview that'll come out tomorrow morning.
You wrote nice things about Barack Arani?
I will say that they're for me, it's like a glowing review. That's what I'll say.
Well,
You'll
I
have
mean,
to read it.
that could mean anything.
Yeah, no, you'll have to check it out.
You could literally say one nice thing and it would be glowing.
Exactly.
Compared
So
to what you normally say.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I feel pretty good about this preview. I got to finish it up tonight though after the show because we did have one match change and I got to tweak one of them. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's okay. That's part of the business.
Yeah, it is.
Night of Champions, man. 1 o'clock start time for us East Coast people.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Listen, I love some afternoon wrestling. I'm not against afternoon wrestling.
I do too.
I'm not against it. Oh my God. All right. What do you want to do? You want to talk some AEW? What do you want to do?
We can. The road to All In is heating up, as the kids say. Yeah. They're finally starting to put their foot on the gas for that thing.
Yeah.
So am I correct in understanding? Now, I watched on a delay yesterday because I got home from these travel ball games seem to be longer and longer every week. So we got home a little later than I anticipated. Are the EVPs putting up their EVP ship where that means Swerve and Ospreay become EVPs, or they're just out of the job and we don't have EVPs? And it's just Omega then? Who's an EVP if that happens? Like, I need to understand that because, like, I'm here for that match. That match is going to rule, the Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay. But they say, you know, Ospreay was like, he is just. I know that he says he's on another level, but he's all over the place right now. He's all, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I want the EVP ships on the line. So you want to run the show, Will?
That's what he said. Sandy, have a good evening. Thank you for staying up late night to
thank you.
Join us for some of the show. We appreciate you, my friend. The vibe that I got from a PLUGGO was that he said, yeah, I want your I don't think it was, oh, look at this. We got Tanner Lee popping in the chat saying, what's up, man? Just in time for us to talk about AEW. It's incredible.
Yeah, you could send Tanner the link.
Yeah, if you want the link, if you're available, Tanner, you let me know.
Come hop in and talk some AEW with you.
We literally just started talking AEW. If you want to hop on here, brother, you let us know if you're available.
Let us know. But
we'll fire that link right over to you.
It's been a while since we've talked to Tanner, ever since that debacle that was the Kicking Out Podcast Championship thing.
I don't remember half of it, so.
I was the only sober one on the screen. I tried to forget most of them.
Tanner couldn't have been.
I'm the only one that didn't have an alcoholic beverage that night.
Oh, well, yeah, but Tanner usually keeps it professional. I usually do too, but I let loose that night.
Yeah, you did. That was an epic time. But
let me go, dude. That was a good time.
So that's the interpretation, or that's the impression, is that Ospreay's going to start running the show?
Yeah, I don't think it was just you're going to get stripped of your EV titles. I took it as put your EVP status on the line. So like we would we would be the EVPs.
Okay. What's a Will Ospreay ran? Now, obviously Tony Khan, you know, he still makes all the decisions, but you think Tony Khan? See that stuff. That's the kind of stuff where when I watch AEW, I need some type of authority figure that's not the EVPs, because it's like, okay, you shot that out of a cannon and then Tony just pushes a button and said the match is on. But Tony, are you saying do you no longer want the EVPs in power? Are you just gonna be okay with Matt and Nick getting stripped of their titles and then Swerve and Ospreay are just in power? Are you what? I got you. You got to explain that to me.
It's fair.
What's up, the Hive? He says, hello, bitches. I am assuming that's Josh. What's up, Josh, you stud?
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
It's
Jim
me.
Nance. Wow. Are you saying Adele right now, bro?
Hello from the other street.
That's not. That was all right. Yeah, that you recovered at the end there a little bit. That was not going well for you at first.
I can't hit Adele notes, bro.
Well, who can?
Exactly.
It's one of one.
Exactly.
It's one of one. Fair enough.
It's not Josh. I'm
definitely
not
not
Josh.
Josh.
Yuck, I'm not Josh. Although what a hottie, but I'm definitely not Josh.
Definitely not Josh.
Go check out what the Hive's doing. They're killing it over there. The Swarm, the Buzz, a lot of good writings on Substack. Guys are killing it.
We're trying. Is that a St. Croix?
LaCroix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What flavor?
Lemoncello, the goat.
Limoncello.
Oh, dude, money.
Have you ever had limoncello like back in the day? Did you have like actual limoncello before?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I have. There's not a drink I don't think there's a drink I've not had.
Wait a minute.
I think I've lived, man.
Yeah, so haven't I, but there's not a drink. You've had every drink
I don't know, man. I've had some.
Listen, I get it.
There was never a time where somebody'd go, "You want this?" Where I would go, "No."
Yeah. No, yeah, all right. I've been there too, but I haven't had every drink ever made.
Maybe not every drink ever made.
So you know how many alcoholic drinks there are?
But like the the usual suspects, I'm sure I've tried it.
Yeah.
I used to, not in a not to get too down that rabbit hole, but I used to go to I would buy something that I knew for sure I would like, and then I would buy something else that was different. So I'd always
you had a fallback in case you didn't like something.
Right. So it's like, I'm going to try this, but I'm definitely going to get something that I enjoy. So, I always had something new with something old. And so, yeah, it's just, yeah, I've gone down the line at the grocery store.
Yeah, it's fair. But anyway, I digress. But
Whoa, don't be talking about my LaCroix like that, Josh.
Yeah, Josh he's not a fan of those.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm at the rate of this heat wave, I might shove it on my bum. It might be refreshing.
Wow, take it easy, huh?
Shock the system.
Isn't that a bubbly drink?
It is. I'm a sparkling.
That would
water
not
guy.
that would not be refreshing.
Hey, teach their own.
That could sting, I think.
I'm not here to judge.
No. But
anyway,
that's the vibe that I get, is that if Swerve and Ospreay would win, that they would be the EVPs. I assume only on television form. Obviously, they're not going to take their jobs in real life.
Would that be something? Don't they know how much work goes into that, running shows and being diplomatic and having to deal with everybody's problems? I mean, Cody Rhodes came out, pretty much said that he wasn't quite ready for that position when he took it back in the day. Ospreay, I would love Ospreay just tearing his hair out, trying to figure out, what am I going to do at segment 4?
Yeah. Yeah. Josh, happy Pride to you too.
Happy Pride. 30 degrees cooler here today, Scott. Yeah, it is. It is cooling down a little bit. We got some rain, so I think that'll help.
But Scott is correct. Yesterday it was 100 degrees here, and today it was in the low 70s. And I was like, yeah, that's totally normal. That totally should be that type of degree drop in a day. Totally normal. Totally normal. But anyway. But yeah, so that we have that match happening. It should be good. It's a shame that the biggest, a huge tag team. You would hope that a big tag team match like that would be with the tag team titles.
Yeah.
But it is a big time tag team match. It should be a really, really good one. We kind of.
Especially because the tag team belts, no disrespect to Jet Speed. I love Jet Speed. And they're kind of calling out the Hurt Syndicate, but is that an all-in match right now? And that's only because Jet Speed's kind of in their infancy, right? They're a young tag team. They just started together. And so, but I mean, yeah. But here's the problem. See, this is the AEW catch-22, is if it was for the titles, everybody like, there goes the Young Bucks putting themselves in a title match again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're in a kind of weird spot.
I loved what they did last night, though. You talk about Jet Speed.
Yeah.
When the Hurt Syndicate beat the crap out of them and they threw them through those tables, I liked what they did there. And I loved the shot where, MVP says, turn our music on or whatever. And they walk to the ring and the camera kind of stays there. And you just kind of see Speedball and Kevin Knight just laid out in the table. And I thought that was really good. And I liked their little promo segment. And I think, listen, I thought they did a good job in making it seem like it could be jet speed. That is the match at All In. If they can, what MVP say, if they can walk or they can do whatever.
Yeah.
But then they also left it open that something bigger could happen. Could we get a big return or a big new debut? They kind of because MVP screaming, we need somebody to step up. It's like, you understand 30 seconds ago, Jet Speed was stepping up and challenging you guys to a tag like that. They were doing that.
Is there time to get Christian Cage and Nick Wayne into that mix? Because he on Saturday night basically said that's the new goal for the patriarchy, is to become tag team champions. It's time for father and son to become side by side. Is there time to get that going, or is that too?
They fought on Collision tonight. They won. They beat Big Bill and Brian Keith.
Yeah.
Again, to me, that would make less sense than Jet Speed.
Okay, that's fair.
Not in the long run. Not in the long run.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think
now it would to me.
Yeah, because that's one I feel like you're a couple weeks late if you want to do it at All In. You'd have to have done that sooner, but Nick had just got back from Best of Super Juniors, so makes sense. But that'd be a big time match if they booked it right. Hey, all I care about with AEW right now in this tag, it's just I want them to start building back up that division as it once was. And yes, the Hurt Syndicate needs challengers. And I love Jet Speed as well. I think those two are fantastic. They're also a young upstart tag team where it's like you're coming into All In. Where's that big marquee matchup for the Hurt Syndicate where it doesn't feel like, that tag match is huge, obviously, but then this one's going to open the show or be on the pre-show or something wild. You know what I mean? I want them to build that back up.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Scott said Christian roasted MVP on the mic after. Maybe not. Maybe there is time.
Listen, they could. I don't know. It feels to me like it still will be Jet Speed, or maybe it's a three-way.
Maybe they did announce the Casino Gauntlet match, so maybe Jet Speed's in that, or Christian Cage is in that. Who knows?
Yeah. They not only did they announced one for the men and the women.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is very exciting. And last night we had 2 4-ways, 2 good matches. To determine who was going to be the first entrant in both those. And on the men's side of things, it was Mark Briscoe, who defeated Bandito, Takeshita, and Roddy Strong. That was a great match.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
I like Mark Briscoe and all, but he's always in these spots, and I'm just like, how does he keep getting these spots?
Because he's over.
I know, but
everybody loves Mark Briscoe.
I know. But optically, you're just like, how does he keep getting these spots?
Yeah. And then on the ladies' side of things, we saw Chris Statlander defeat Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, and Athena with the help of Marina Shafir and the Death Riders. As at the end, it looked like Willow was going to win this match, and Marina Shafir made her way to ringside, distracted Willow, and Statlander then hit Wednesday Night Fever on Willow, and after she won, her and Marina Shafir were staring at each other for a long time. And we saw last week, that Moxley had a backstage segment, with Statlander, kind of saying, hey, don't let anybody tell you who you are, or, something else, what you're worth and things like that. So I'm intrigued about Statlander and the Death Riders here.
She cut a promo basically like, why am I not in that All-Star 8-women tag match? Why am I not getting these opportunities? Willow. She's in this weird spot where, like, she was doing this one thing and she's not really doing anything. She wasn't really doing anything of value storyline-wise, so she talked about it storyline-wise, and Yuta started giving her some shit, and she pushed Yuta and then bumps into Mox, and Mox had, like, the perfect response and held restraint. And I think that's a great hurt. I think the stat with the Death Riders could be something fun, and you could, if you are leaning towards AEW tag team titles, like I think the rumor mill keeps circulating, it's becoming more and more rumor. Marina Shafir and Chris Statlander would be a really fun tag team. So I could see that.
It's definitely a way you can go. Definitely, for sure. So those matches were a lot of fun.
At least he finally got a win, Ryan Solomon.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Mark Briscoe he's always in those spots, but he never wins those
he
spots.
never wins those spots. Yeah, no, Ryan and I talked about it last week on the Mark Order pod. Like, he's always in those matches. He always takes the loss. What is his motivations? And here he gets a win, so that's at least something.
Yeah. We already talked about Jet Speed, but I do want to give AR Fox his flowers because Ricochet was an awful teammate to him last night, and he threw him under the bus. But AR Fox was the standout guy in that match. He wrestled basically that whole match, and he ruled. That move that he did when Kevin Knight was laying on the apron, where he ran to the rope and did that flip and like stayed in the ropes and like did like a coup de grace almost into the jumping flip. I was like, he's incredible. He's so good.
He trains a lot of these younger guys too. I think wasn't Action Andretti actually trained by him, and I think Dante Martin and Darius. I think maybe I could be missed, but he's so good, and he didn't want to really be in that match. Ricochet kind of just talked that whole promo and goes, and then shook his hand and goes, "Yep, you're in. Don't take you're a man that wouldn't take it back. You're not going to take it back. We're in." And then he bails on him. Classic.
The way that he shook his hand though, when AR Fox clearly wasn't going for a handshake, he was just kind of like, and just the way his hand was, Ricochet's like, "Oh, man of his word. Well, handshake's legit. It's legit. It's man. You know, you can't.
It looked like
a handshake.
It looked like when you go in for a handshake, but they're going for a fist bump. But and then he goes, "Well, I'm just going to go for it."
Yeah, it was good.
Hey, Ricochet said that was he was going to use AR Fox to get back into a championship picture. I don't know what championship that means, but
no,
and I don't know how a tag match does that unless you're trying to be tag champions.
Yeah. We saw Kota Ibushi make his in-ring return last night. He had a good match with Trent. I've always loved Trent. Underrated Trent. But
Trent's mom, Sue.
We love Sue.
We love
Sue's
Sue.
On this show every week.
The GOAT.
Yep, we love
Sue. If you're watching, which I know you are, you should come on and hang out with us.
Yeah, that'd be a great time.
Sue, you're the close of this show every week. You should come and hang out with us.
Yeah. But this was a good match. I thought Kota Ibushi looked healthy. I thought he looked good. And it was a good return match, good return opponent for him. However, at the end of this match, we had a stare down between Kazuchika Okada and Ibushi. And then they told us that next week at Dynamite 300 for free on a Wednesday, we are getting Okada versus Ibushi one-on-one, which is an insane match.
Which do you
think we'll away for free?
Do you think we'll see Omega?
Yes, I think
show up at 300, and I think something's going to happen.
Make the save to Ibushi. I could see Okada and his new friends beating the crap out of Ibushi, and Omega makes the save. And then we have, because that's what we have. We have Dynamite 300 next week, and then we have the Go Home show, and then we're at All In. So,
isn't that crazy?
Did they just get married, or he just became a dad? I thought he just became a dad.
He just got married.
Oh, was married? All right, good for him.
He might have just became a dad too. I don't know, but I definitely don't get married.
Yeah.
Ryan Sullivan says it's actually $25.99.
Wait, what?
The match is not free. It's actually $25.99. I'm assuming because you have to pay for your cable / or if you pay for HBO Max. But
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It is free though.
It is. You get what we're going. It's
you
not.
Don't understand
50.
What I'm
it's
saying. Damn it,
yeah, Ryan. So literal, so regal, but yet so literal.
Yeah. If you go back to the beginning of the show, we saw Mercedes Moné attack Toni Storm. Right out of the chute, Toni Storm and Luther are walking backstage, and she gets attacked. They come out around ringside. Mercedes physically assaults a stagehand and gets a mic, and she says, "You want to play games?" She goes, "All right, I'm going to make you look like a stupid bitch." And she beats the crap out of Toni. We then see security and Mina Shirakawa make her way out to the ramp, and Mercedes grabs the mic, and she says, "Darling, let the games begin." And she throws the mic at Toni. And then we also find out that next week on Dynamite 300, Mercedes will be putting the TBS championship on the line against Mina Shirakawa. And Pluggo, I'm going to say it, I think Mercedes is losing.
Like Tony Coster?
I do. I think Tony, yes.
Because Tony on Saturday night, she was like, Mercedes, you're kind of dismissing me, and she basically goes, I ain't no other mother, you know what I mean? I'm no other motherfucker. I'm Tony Storm, and this what kicked it all off. And we've talked for months about what's the move, how do we get that TBS championship off of Mercedes so she's not holding all the gold. This would be the next opportunity. I'm not going to say it's the best opportunity to do it, because there's been other opportunities that I think we thought were better, but here's your chance, and I don't think you can come up with much more. And if you want to play the game, and if Tony wants to take it to that next level, here's the way to do it. I'm going to be rooting for it, not because I hate Mercedes Moné, just because I want better for the TBS championship. If you're going to, and I think then that way you could even, I think that way too, then you could even put it in the she lost the TBS championship. She's definitely leaving All In as world champion now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Opposed to, I think if she's still holding that TBS championship and all of the 6 of those belts, because we need a little unhingedness, and this was cool to see from Mercedes Moné. This was a moment where I go, okay, you aren't just sitting around eating steak, being the CEO, just hanging back. You're willing to mix it up with Tony Storm, and you're ready to roll. So yeah, we'll see. Mina Shakiro is TBS champion. That'd be fun. She could have some really fun matches.
Yeah, and I think that also would then allow the TBS title to be defended at all. You get a second. So like you get that, like you said, you get that off of Mercedes. We don't have to worry about that now. We can just focus on her going for the world title. And then you also create another women's match on All In for the second biggest title the women have, on top of the women casino gauntlet. It's just a way to make everything work. Because really, when we were talking about the last pay-per-view, when we were crowning the Owen, I didn't pick Mercedes, and it's the reason we lost the Kicking Out Podcast championship. But one of the main reasons why I didn't pick Mercedes was because I didn't want the TBS title to not be involved, because it was on the person that was going for the title. And I think if she loses, that is how... I don't know. But then Scott saying that tonight Mina told Tony Storm on Collision not to interfere in the match next week.
I don't think that's...
I don't know.
You don't say that and then it not happen. That's Wrestling 101. Well, and that's another thing we talked about, is just how this women's division, people don't take it serious, and the women don't get a ton of time. But if you really watch what the women are doing when they get time, I don't think anybody's egregiously doing, bad. I don't know what it is. And then separating Mercedes from that title and having her just focus on Tony for the next few weeks, and then reestablishing a TBS championship division, I think would go a long way into optically saying, hey, we cared about this women's division. That 4-way was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that they were doing on Collision, it's good stuff. So this would be a nice change of pace, and then you could also kind of alleviate the whole like Mercedes just wins everything all the time. You just do it in one foul swoop on Dynamite 300. Mina Shirakawa wins the thing. I'm down. Make it happen.
Yeah, I would be down. And then the only other thing that happened on Dynamite that we haven't discussed yet was the main event, which was Hangman Adam Page against the Beast Mortos. 2 AEW Dynamite main events in a row for Beast Mortos. 2 weeks in a row, that guy right there.
Now, not that he's not good. And my other co-host on my other show is a huge Beast Mortos fan. So trust me, I hear a lot about... Do you think it has anything to do with all of a sudden the Mercedes Moné dating rumors made its way out, and all of a sudden he's boom, he's out, he's there, he's wrestling all the time now.
Listen,
nothing wrong with it.
Mercedes elevates talent. That's what she does.
That's what she does.
That's who she is. It's who she is.
Yeah. No, good for him. He's fantastic in his own right. Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was coincidentally odd how that rumor and that picture surfaced, and now he's out. He's everywhere.
Yeah,
and he's on social media more.
Yeah,
taking pictures with he still covers his face, but shows off the guns.
Yeah,
Mercedes. Yeah, like you said, she elevates everyone she's around.
Yeah, she does. I thought that was it was a good main event too. I thought him and Hangman had a really good match. It was a hard-hitting match, a brutal match.
Mhm.
And it was really, really good. But Hangman, obviously, as you would expect, was the victor. And it was really after the match, the lights go out and they come back on, and Hangman is in position with the Bucks getting ready, and they hit an EVP trigger on Hangman. And then we see the Death Riders make their way through the crowd. They get in the ring. Moxley has a chain. He starts choking out Hangman with the chain. We then see the Ops make their way to the ring. But the Death Riders and the Bucks kind of create a wall that doesn't allow them to get into the ring. And then we see Will Ospreay's music hit. He comes firing down there. He gets in the ring, and then the Death Riders and the Bucks kind of flee. And Hangman's being revived in the ring, like he's coughing and unconscious. And then Moxley grabs a camera and basically says, on July 12th, I'm going to show everybody what a real world champion looks like. And that's how the show went off the air, with Hangman having to be revived because he's incapacitated from being choked out.
Maybe we do need new EVPs.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't sound very. Alex Windsor's All Elite official graphics just shown on TV.
I just saw she got a little vignette.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, like I said, it's like we kind of stalled a little bit of the push for All In with the Grand Slam Mexico show, but they seem to be all hands on deck. I wonder what other matches are going to be made for that right now. So we've got the world title, the tag match, the women's championship, and then the 2 gauntlet matches are locked in. What else is there?
Well, Okada and Omega.
Okada and Omega, sorry. So that right there is a good, but there's got to be some more because they're all in, baby.
Yeah, 100%.
Who else is like, what else we thinking? Maybe.
Well, we're going to get the Hurt Syndicate. It's going to be
Hurt Syndicate, Jet Speed, you just said. So there you go. That's what, 7? I say 7 matches.
We got the world title match. We got Okada and Omega. We got Mercedes and Tony. We got the 2 gauntlets, which is 5.
The tag match, which
the tag match will be 6.
Because it doesn't look like Athena's going to be on this card. She's wrestling Thunder Rosa officially, but that was announced today.
And then it's Takeshita versus Briscoe. No, wait, who's the Ring of Honor champ? It's Briscoe, right?
It's Bandito.
Oh, that's right. So it's Takeshita and Bandito.
Yeah,
that's what they announced. That's 2 good matches for Ring of Honor Supercard. That's 2 good matches.
FTR Outrunner looks like could be a match. Yeah,
could be a match there. FTR and the Outrunners. I expect Adam Cole to defend his TNT title against somebody. He just defended it and defeated Josh Alexander tonight.
Josh Alexander, damn, he's had an interesting run so far.
Run of losses.
That's what I'm saying. He joins the family, taking L's. And Okada's officially in the family now, too. Takeshita told him that's only going to be temporary, though, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, there's still a few weeks to go. I mean, there's 2 weeks. It feels like, because the end of June is like tomorrow.
Yeah, July 1st is what, Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday?
Monday. I think it's Monday.
Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. And
it's crazy how quick it goes. So, but they got some things. They'll probably do a lot of chopping of that All In wood at 300, I'd imagine. I think 300 is probably going to be a spectacle, and they'll really move the storylines. But AEW, man, they're cooking right now. We say it every week, but I really enjoyed Dynamite last night. I thought it was a fun watch. It was a quick watch. It felt quick in a good way. Yes. Because I think maybe it's because they were back to 2 hours.
I mean,
it's been a while since they've done a 2-hour Dynamite.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun show, though. The in-ring last night was excellent. I thought the in-ring was really, all those matches were very good. Now,
are they doing Collision tonight? Because
it's live right now. Yeah,
are they doing
it? What's on Saturday? Because of Night of Champions?
There's no hockey. Here's what I think. And actually, that's why I was asking you if you knew of anything that was going on TNT that they wouldn't run it. Are they testing the waters of a Thursday night Collision because they lost the NBA?
They potentially could, yeah, because TNT is not going to have that anymore to bank on.
As of this fall, they're not going to have. And I was thinking they're not going to have TNT. It's not going to have NBA now. They still have hockey, but they traditionally which they could run on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but they were running on Wednesdays for a little bit after Dynamite for a while.
Yeah.
But that's why they moved it to TBS to not even have to worry about it. But are they saying, hey, we now have this free Thursday night wide open. Let's test this out, which doesn't bode well for guys like us who run on Thursdays, but we could always just keep you guys up to date on Collision. That's the decision that they ultimately. Because I got to be honest, I watched this Saturday because I ended up just not having anything to do. I watched it live for the first time in a while. But if Saturday night, if the boys call and say you want to go do something, or I guess don't watch Collision, I think you're going to go do something. Yeah. Thursday nights, you're going to go, no, it's Thursday night. I'm locked into Between Two Beards and AEW Collision.
100%.
So yeah, I think they're testing the waters. Maybe this is a good week to do it. There's nothing going on to even have to move it. So, and then Scott's saying, yeah, the last 3 hours SmackDown is this week. And you know what? Good.
I can't wait. And I guarantee you.
They're debuting a new show.
Wait, what?
USA, not a new wrestling show. They're putting like a brand new show at that 10 o'clock Friday night slot. This is what the rumors I saw.
USA is.
Yeah, they're debuting some new show. They're going back
to. Do we know?
I don't remember what it is. Scott saying Thursday Night Football is coming back soon. Yeah, that could, but I don't see that. I don't know why they would move Collision for football. But TNT and TBS have nothing. If they lost the NBA, it's going back to Peacock. It's going to be on NBC and Peacock and ESPN. Yeah. Like they're inside the NBA is going to ESPN, and then Peacock's getting a bunch of games. Oh, it's called Rainmaker. He says.
What are they?
And I don't think wrestling needs to. I don't think wrestling needs to work around football because Raw's never left Monday night. And listen, I know people like to go, well, the ratings are bad during Monday Night Football. Everybody's ratings are bad. Nobody's beating the juggernaut that is the NFL. So if you want to put a wrestling show on a Thursday night, you go right ahead.
Did you happen to watch or see any of the clips of Kevin Owens on the Cody podcast?
I did see the one where he shit all over Braun Breaker's fake tan.
Oh, the tan. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I haven't listened to the Kevin Owens one because I've gone down a How I Made Your Mother rabbit hole podcast right now. So that's all I've listened to this week is I'm trying to catch up. But I like the looseness in which I watched the Damian Priest one. I watched the Brandy Rhodes one. I listened to him. Good. And I'm assuming Kevin Owens and him had the same kind of just like we're going to have drinks and just chat vibe. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to read too much into that in the sense that he's shitting on Braun Breaker because he's coming back. Mm-hmm. But man, he laid into Braun Breaker. And I can't imagine Braun was listening to that going, thanks, dude.
Well, he said he was a good guy, though.
No, I'm sure he's probably taking it in jest, but he really was like, man, that tan is the worst. So maybe he gets razzed by the guys all the time about it. I have been loving Braun Breaker's him and Izzy Dane's TikToks where she's like, I want to go out to eat. And he's like, no, we should stay home. We have food. And then there's pictures of him just miserable out to eat.
Yeah.
So those are fun.
Braun Breaker was on the Undertaker's podcast this week.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't normally listen to that podcast, but I'm like, I feel like that would be an interview I might want to at least see how it goes.
Yeah.
But so you didn't see KO shit on Ryback?
I did not see that. I didn't. Well, how did I gotta have to listen to this show.
Well, they bleep it up.
I'll have to put it in my.
They don't say Ryback's name.
I did see that, Scott, that the spray tan makes the.
Yes, that was hilarious. The whole thing is very funny. Funny.
I'll have to make it a point to squeeze that in. I listen to podcasts on my commute. It's very rare that I put on music, which is funny that I pay for a music stream. I listen to more music, I guess, around the house when I'm doing yard work. But
so, all right, I want to talk about this. So
okay.
So this I have what was spoken about. Okay, so this is during the interview. Kevin Owens. They're talking about independent wrestling. So they're talking about when KO was on the Indies, and it's a good listen. It's like an hour and a half. They go for a while. It's good. KO feels like a guy, and they're drinking during it, so they start to get more loose as it goes.
Yeah, that's Cody's Mo.
Yes.
It's a good podcast.
Yes,
It
it's
is
good.
very good. He does a good job.
So Cody, I have quotes here. Oh, here comes Lou. I have quotes here. So Cody says, I agreed with your sentiment on don't rob the bank. Price yourself fairly, because they're talking about like prices that they got doing indies. And even when Cody talked about like what he was charging when he left and blah, blah, blah. He goes, my big thing was I would do the in the ring photos after the show. I wanted to make sure the promoter got his money back because I would be on the show with other ex WWE guys or WWE legends, whatever. They'd rob the bank. I knew that guy didn't get his money off of you. And then KO then says, I just remember specifically hearing about ex WWE guys that overestimated their appeal just because they were coming off a WWE run. And he goes, and I think, and they censor it. They bleep it out and they put Cody Rhodes' tattoo over his mouth. And he goes, Ryback is a good example. Charged insane amounts of money, which he might have gotten a couple times at first. And now I think it's safe to say he has not been booked very much. It might be by design. Maybe he decided not to. And then when he says that, Cody basically spits out his drink. Like he literally spits out his drink. And then Owens goes in further. He goes, again, I hate to bring up the Ryback of the world, right? He goes, they did stuff in WWE. They were popular guys at a certain level. They won some titles, everything. But their run up until when they ended up getting released and having to go on the independent scene was nothing compared to the run you had up to the point that you left. We're talking to Cody. He goes, you were Intercontinental Champion. You were in the Legacy with Randy. You were working with Triple H and Shawn in the main events of pay-per-views. You had a great run, and you still approached it with no ego, not expecting that run to do anything for you on the indie scene besides having promoters' attention. You didn't expect them to give you the $3,000 a match, so I don't know if that's what he heard Ryback was asking for, maybe, that he specifically said $3,000. He goes,
wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, he goes, you didn't expect them to give you $3,000 a match just because you won the IC title by disaster, kicking Big Show off the apron with his foot going through the table. Amazing finish, by the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
because Ryback did rebut. So I want to hear your opinion on what KO and Cody said first.
Again, I don't know because I haven't been to an independent wrestling show where a Cody Rhodes or a Ryback or even a Kevin Owens have been on. So, but I would imagine that, Cody seemed, at least from the outside when he did the indies, that he was going to take it by storm and he had something to prove. He wasn't, because he asked for his release. He wasn't released by his, because he sucked. He said, I think if I'm not mistaken, he asked to be released, right? Or they released. Either
Cody
way.
did. Cody asked for
and he had a chip on his shoulder with something to prove. And yeah, there are people that when they get released, they do the, I'm a big name, in the cash grab runs. But you can really tell the people, at least from the outside, that when they want to be there and they're wanting to help the show that they're on and they're trying to provide. And then Cody saying, hey, I don't do my photo ops till after the show means that the people that paid to see are going to stay there, right? Because that's the thing, too. If you do the photo ops before because you're there to see Cody Rhodes and you get your photo op, but the rest of the card doesn't really mean anything to you, you might just leave after the Cody spot or getting your opportunity with Cody. So I don't really know because I've been to some independent wrestling shows with some former names on it. You can tell who's really invested in being there and who's there to collect the check. I have been very fortunate to honestly run into – I haven't really ran into anybody that's been disingenuous or not really wanted to be there or didn't give me the time that – I never think I earned, what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I deserve time. But I'm saying, they never shortchanged me. Actually, to be honest with you, it's some of these indie guys that aren't really names that are that I've had more like, they're just like, don't really want to talk to me type guys. And I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. Like, that's cool. But yeah, so I don't know. $3,000 doesn't seem too far-fetched that he'd be asking for, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. Like Cardona's a good example because he was just on a podcast where he said, as long as they'll pay my fee, I will be there and I will do my part. And he's another guy that says, I'm at that merch table the whole time. Effie's a guy that he's at that merch table the whole time. We saw that in person. I'm there. I'm every fan in line. I'm going to talk to. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to make an interaction with. So I don't know. Yeah. What did Ryback say?
So Ryback
probably something stupid.
No, he actually tried. Well, no? We'll see. Okay. It's actually a longer one, but he said, I was made aware and saw the clip of KO and Cody, two guys I always liked and got along with. It's clear they were referencing me, even with the name censored. He said, for context, I was booked solid for 3 years straight after WWE. My rate was set by my then manager, Pat Buck, a promoter himself, and every promoter I worked with made money and got my full effort, meet and greets, matches, fan time, all of it. What's often left out, and he says, what's often left out, I walked away from a multi-million-dollar WWE contract. I wasn't fired. I needed a 5-disc fusion and full right shoulder replacement at 34. I was told not to wrestle again. I had nerve damage that risked paralysis if I continued. I had to stop taking bookings entirely. Why? Because my doctors told me for the stem cells to work properly, I needed to stop wrestling. I also made the choice that, and this is where I'm like, okay, now he's doing the sob. Everyone feel bad for me.
Yeah.
Type stuff. But he goes, I also made, and again, this is a nice story, but come on. He goes, I also made the choice to stay home and care for my dog, Sophie, who developed severe disc disease, had multiple ruptures and surgeries, and was paralyzed twice. I refused to put her down just to keep traveling and making more money. I already had what I needed. Sophie turns 10 this November, and every second was with her was worth it. And he talks about his nutrition brand that feed me more nutrition. He goes, so yes, I do feel the comment was a low blow, especially coming from two guys I respected and spoke well of, but I'm not bitter. Sure. I've made peace with WWE and let go of the past. This isn't a storyline. It's real life, survival, growth, perspective. I wish Kevin a strong recovery, and I send both him and Cody nothing but love, health, and continued success.
Shep's in the house, and Ryback's a whack job. Sullivan said he walked away from WWE because he needed surgery, but was booked for 3 years straight after. Got to pay for it somehow, I guess. Here's the thing with Ryback. Now, that isn't the dumbest thing he's ever said, and that's not the worst comments he's ever said. He said some pretty wacky stuff. So I never know what his angle is, because at both sides of his mouth, he'll say, like, he would never go back to WWE, but then he'll say things like, I'd have a great match with so-and-so. So I don't know. Listen, as long as if the manager sets the booking, I don't understand. I don't know how that dynamic works. We would have to talk to somebody that has that situation. Like, if you think $3,000, if you're saying it was your manager that set the price and everybody made money, but are you saying you didn't agree with the $3,000? Can't you step up and say, I think that's a little high? That's the other thing too. Like, what does the promoter get with your $3,000? Because I've been to, like, when I met Heath Slater, who was an absolute gem of a human being. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But he did say at one point, he was like, and I asked him for a picture, and he said, I got to charge you for that. And I said, no, I understand. You're working for whoever. So is that part of the $3,000? Is you also, we're going to pay you $3,000, but we're going to do meet greets, autographs, combo pack. What does that get me? Do I get a promo leading up to the show? So I don't know all the ins and outs of that kind of stuff. So maybe he's right. Maybe they did make the money off the $3,000.
I mean, I feel like in the promoter's eyes, they very much are like, well, I'm going to get, in a perfect world, if you're getting that big of a star in your mind, you're going to get a full house on the night, which is the most important, right? Would be getting that. That's where the promoter's going to make most of his money, is on the ticket sales and because the merch is going to the wrestlers, a certain percentage of it. You know what I mean? I assume.
Yeah, I don't think the promoter gets, and there might be certain deals again, and it depends on the level of indie, right? Like, are you talking local where you're the star, like you're paying $3,000 for Ryback, and then nobody else on the card is making money? Because there are those type of indies, which I think is sad, or is it like a higher level indie, like a I don't even know a great, like a Defy or a Prestige, like a higher level indie that does bring in big talent all the time. So I guess it depends on the situation. I don't know.
I don't
Collision is when the FTR Outrunners matches.
Yeah, they just announced it next week. It's happening next week.
I can't believe we're talking about Ryback this much in 2025.
Well, yeah, and now we're going to talk about Mark Henry.
Whoa.
Because Mark Henry did an interview. Where was this interview? Where it was on with Forbes magazine, and he talked about the big man and wrestling and what his vision, what he thinks about big men in pro wrestling nowadays. And I think he made some very insinuating comments towards a few EVPs that we might have talked about earlier. So all right, I'm not going to read the first. I'm not going to read the first part because he like compares it to like he compares it to like a racial analogy, and so I'm not going to read that part of it. But I'll start it with this. So this is like the second paragraph of the first quote. He says, "That's the way it's happened with the big guy and the little guy in wrestling. The little guy is in power right now, and he has been underneath the bigger you are, the better you are. That's not always been the case. And now that it is, they want to keep it that way. They don't want the big guy to flourish. There was a time at AEW when I first went to AEW, man, I just saw all the money in the world in Wardlow. And because the powers that be were smaller guys, they ixnayed that shit altogether. They wanted it to be more balanced for the smaller wrestler because the guys that were the best there were the smaller guys, not realizing that the more monsters you create, the better the conqueror. Every big guy needs to remember David and Goliath. David won. That's the whole point of the story, is for David to win. And I didn't think AEW let Wardlow develop and get there." So that's one part.
Okay.
And then he talks about WWE. Well, first of all, because then he talks about WWE and he says WWE is happy to have a happy medium, a happy balance of the big and small. But even at the top end of WWE, they don't use the big guy as the main event guys right now. The biggest guys are not the best workers, and they don't compel you to do what Roman Reigns does or what Randy Orton does or what Logan Paul is growing into. Bronson Reed can be one of those guys because he's really smart and he understands the happy medium philosophy. And then the last quote, he says, "Gunther used to be a big dude. He used to be one of the monsters, and then the world has talked him into, no, you need to be smaller." And that's the quotes. So obviously he's talking about the big guy in wrestling because he was a big man, clearly, Mark Henry. He's talking about the big guy in wrestling in general, which we could talk about if you wanted. But really, it sounds like here that he said the Young Bucks. To me, that's what it sounds like. That the Young Bucks held Wardlow down because they were little guys and they didn't want too many big guys to be. That's at least what it sounds like he's saying there.
Yeah. That I'm trying to think about this from both sides of it, in the sense that wasn't the old adage like you had to be bigger. That was wrestling in the 80s. The night bigger is better, more muscles, the steroid trials. It was, we couldn't believe a guy like Nick Jackson could be world champion, right? Because he's too small, he's too little. Darby Allin's a great example. He's polarizing in the sense that people think he's so small he couldn't be world champion. So are the Young Bucks saying like we want to prove that smaller wrestlers can be, just as important, and WWE to an extent doing that too? I don't know if that's why Wardlow. I always know that there's two sides to every story, right?
Yep.
There's always two sides to it. So is it all on the Bucks just saying we don't like Wardlow? Well, if you don't like him, then they would have got rid of him. They got to sell something there, or maybe they're sold. I don't know.
Well, he's going to be an American Gladiators.
Yeah, he's going to be an American Gladiators, which has some WWE talent on it as well. right? The Miz is hosting it.
Were you into that show when you were? I loved it.
Oh yeah, dude! I was so into American
Oh,
Gladiators when I was a kid.
Have you seen the Netflix documentary on it?
No, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched that yet. It's on my to-do list. But Mark Henry, he had no problem going there and taking the money. He was a big guy. Do the Mark Henrys of the world succeed at a rate where maybe smaller guys than Mark Henry do that today? Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Is it because I don't know why it is. I don't know why there's not more big guys in the Mark Henry build killing it in the game. I don't know if that's company decisions or like he does bring up a great point though. Gunther did chisel himself down, and I don't know who made that decision because we were perfectly fine with a bigger Gunther. Walter when he was Walter.
Well, I mean, I saw an interview with Gunther where he said once he made the decision that he was moving to the United States or like coming over here full time for NXT, that he felt like for himself, but more for the company, they deserved the best version of him. So he started working out and paying more attention to his weight. And
there's nothing wrong with that. And I have to imagine it probably is a great help with the schedule that WWE runs to be run a little leaner, run a little more fit, so you could like. I'm a big guy, and I've always subscribed to I think people use the term fat as a negative when it shouldn't be looked at as a negative because like. It is what it is. I don't think, I'm not the healthiest guy in the world, but I also, don't think I need 8 abs to be good looking. So,
it's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, if I was super tall, because when I tell people, like, I'm fat, they go, oh, no, you're not. Don't say that about yourself. But I am. It's okay. Like, if I was 8 feet tall and you said I was tall and I went, you wouldn't go, don't say you're not tall. That's not nice to say about yourself. Like, I'm a fat guy. It's okay. I don't know. That's a weird one. I don't know because Wardlow was super over, and if Mark is making that claim, then he's saying that the Young Bucks have more power than Tony Khan. Or maybe
would that shock you? Especially would that shock you? With some of the now, I feel like again. We don't hear any backstage bullshit. I feel like we haven't for a while now in AEW.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they've gotten their shit in order, but would it have shocked you? I think part of the problem of those early years of AEW when they ran into problems was because certain guys, and I'm not just saying it was just the Bucks, because Cody has openly said he made mistakes as well when he was an EVP. I think those guys had a little bit too much power, and Tony wasn't putting his foot down enough and saying, hey, I'm the fucking owner. All right? Like, I'm the owner. Now I feel like we don't hear those things because I do think he's taken more of that, like, hey, so it wouldn't shock me if the Young Buck, again, this is also a guy who was in AEW who left AEW, so we don't know how he feels personally about. He could have just not liked the Young. Again, we don't know if this is true or not. This is one guy's perspective. I just thought it was very interesting for him to, without saying it, say, or at least to me.
Well, that's why
saying that.
That's why with guys like Mark Henry saying stuff like that, like just say it. Like at this point, why are you dancing around it? And you're basically saying, just say it. What do you have to lose or gain by? Is it because Thunder Rosa does stuff with Busted Open? You don't want to lose the AEW side of things, but you still have to. I don't know. And I try not to listen and take too much stock into that kind of stuff because I just go, what are you trying to, I get what you're trying to say. Are you you don't want to dump on the WWE hard, so you're going to lean into the AEW side of it. But WWE's gone smaller too. You said it in the same quote. You said Bronson Reed could be one of those guys, but they don't position him like that. I don't know if that's because the WWE has a history of telling wrestlers like you need to look a certain way, you need to, work out a certain way. AEW, to my knowledge, doesn't do that. They don't have the same standards as WWE, so I don't.
Yeah. Last thing, because we are talking about big men.
Yeah, we are.
The last thing I want to talk about is
Love me some-
Today, actually, Keith Lee had some tweets.
I missed a lot today.
So earlier today, this morning, somebody tweeted at Keith Lee and they said, "You are missed on TV, but we know you are doing what's important and taking care of yourself. God bless you, brother." To where Keith Lee quote tweeted it and said, "Again, I am quite fine. It is not up to me when it comes to a return, but blessings to you as well." And then somebody responded to that and said, "Wait, you're good to go?" Question mark. So we need to start the same campaign that bullied TK to get Athena on All In. I'm ready. And then Keith Lee quote tweeted that and said, "I've been good for quite some time, though I do appreciate the concern, but no campaign required. Things happen the way they are supposed to, and eventually the purpose will show itself." So that is a Keith Lee insinuating that he is healthy and cleared, I would think, from those comments, saying that he's chilling and he's ready to go. It's not really up to him. Again,
He's a big guy. Maybe
Yeah.
the
Again, not saying Tony Khan's name, but he's making it seem like he's ready to go. He's just waiting for the call. He's just not getting the call.
which is weird because I don't understand from AEW's perspective why, like, they did the same thing with Ricky Starks. He kept saying he was good to go, and they didn't use Ricky, and then they just ended up finally releasing him from his contract. And yeah, he's kind of killing it right now over at NXT, but is he killing it to the point where you had to hold on to him for that long, where you lost money? Keith Lee's a guy that WWE released because they didn't see an inherent value. Now, it was a different regime, of course, but is he gonna, if you released Keith Lee tomorrow because you just won't want to use him, he's gonna go back to NXT? Would be the peak, right? That'd be the place that he would go, that where he could immediately make an impact. But is it such an impact that I don't understand that dynamic and that narrative. Again, two sides to every story. Has Keith Lee been pitched ideas and maybe he just doesn't want to do them? Are the Young Bucks absolutely against using him, or because they don't like big guys, as we just found out? I don't understand that. I still don't quite get it.
Yeah.
Who has left AEW outside of Cody Rhodes that has absolutely become just this juggernaut moneymaker for the WWE?
I think we're in the process now of the people that are going to do that. Mariah May, Ricky Saint.
Sure.
Do you count the guys that went back? Because the rumor is that Aleister Black's about to get a really major, big time push. Like, does that count? Rusev, like, if they does that count?
But if you're like, because we used to say that about WWE, and they'd hoard talent, they'd hold on to them because they didn't want them making money for other companies. I'm saying, yeah, Ricky Saints has that potential. Blake Monroe has that potential for sure, 100%. There's two right there. Ethan Page, you could see eventually, but how many years down the road are we talking WrestleMania main event Cody Rhodes level? Like, oh my God, it's sync. These aren't sink your company type. Like, if you let them go. Because you're also, if you're AEW, you're also signing up and coming talent that's going to help your company. And you're in these bidding wars for any free agent that may pop up that you want. They've done a really good job of not jumping on all this WWE talent that's been released, right? So if you were to say, hey, Keith Lee, like, all right, go do whatever you want to do because we're not using you. You obviously want to work. We don't have anything for you. Best of luck. Is it really am I gonna be disappointed that it didn't work out? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna change my viewing habit.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I'm not even saying that a negative to Keith Lee. I'm saying I want to see Keith Lee wrestle wherever it may be. If you're not using him here, let him go wrestle the indies. Let him go have a run on the indie scene. Let him go back to Impact and or TNA. Maybe they'll use him in TNA instead, with the partnerships. I don't know. I just would like, if you're not going to use him, let him go.
Yeah.
But if you have a great plan, he's also cryptically saying, well, things work out the way they're supposed to. Trust the process. Is there a plan for a Keith Lee return? That Casino Gauntlet match in Texas. He's from Texas. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I would very much like that. I wouldn't
be opposed to it. I don't think Keith Lee would say no.
No, but I also think there would be a chance that he could end up being another person that, if they're just not going to use him until his contract is up, I could see him, if he's healthy, like he says, going right back to WWE like he did before. I think there will be options for him.
Yeah, for sure.
What's happened,
But I don't understand. And again, I'm not a businessman. I'm not WWE. I'm not AEW. I'm not a guy that has that decisions to make. But like Aleister Black was, they weren't using him. Oh, he's going to go back to WWE. He had a huge moment right out of the gate, but has he really done anything that's been a game changer so far?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh God, AEW is going to fold now. They're going to crumble. Because I saw that with, oh, look at the way they presented Miro at WWE. AEW is going to regret letting him go. I don't think they have. They weren't using him anyway. And I think what they're doing right now is great. And they're relying on their stars and their talent and their up-and-comers. And I think AEW's finally gotten to a place where they go, they needed a former WWE talent to legitimize themselves to start. They're at a spot now where they can go, these are our people, whether you like them or not, our people like them. But yeah, I still think it's crazy you don't use Keith Lee.
Yeah, if he's healthy and good to go, that's
Keith
a guy
Lee's awesome.
Yeah, you don't keep a guy like that on the shelf if he's good to go. Like he's a special type of guy.
Hey, TK, we got Keith Lee just sitting around like, and him just going, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. But I mean, he did it with Ricky Starks. He did it with Ray Phoenix. He did it with those type of guys.
I still to this day think the Ricky Starks one, something else had to have happened. Yeah. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Even if he was disgruntled, he's not going to go out and tank your program, because then that makes him look bad for his future employee. They didn't do that with Mariah May, who said her dream was always WWE. They worked her till the end there, and then they finally just took her off TV when Ray Phoenix and Penta. I don't know if there was rumors that was they were openly saying that's where they wanted to go, and
yeah,
so maybe that finally Tony Khan was like, well, just wait out your contract and you can go. We're not gonna. I don't know. There's always more to it.
Always. But that'll be all of it for us this evening.
Boom.
Another one in the books, a fun one tonight. We want to thank DC Hendrix for joining us in the first hour, talking some Night of Champions. And then,
stud.
Yeah, an absolute stud. Go give that guy some love. Go give him all the follows. He's a good guy. Great writer, great dude, great podcaster. We were very happy to have him. Pluggo, let the people know one more time what we got going on tomorrow night on LPW 38. And things of that nature, and then let's do the damn thing and get out of here.
Live at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, LPW 38, live from the Rec Room in Alberta. We've got Welcome to the Machine. It's going to be, like you said, Billy Stark, Zoe Sager, Sinner and Saint versus the Short Kings. We asked Travis Williams, Impact star, who he wanted to face at LPW a year ago, and he said Mars the Specialist, and Mars the Specialist is part of the Short Kings. Dan, you have a great night, you stud. We got to get Dan back out.
I literally, so he was in the chat. He was in the chat earlier today when I did Firmly solo today.
I saw that.
My first ever
when I was at work. I had a busy day, but I saw you solo.
My first ever solo. I crushed it per usual. It is what it is. It's what I do. But Dan was in the chat, and and I said that to him on Firmly. I said, we got to get you back on Beards soon. So that is something we need to do.
We will make that happen soon. Maybe sooner than later. You never know. But yeah, like I was saying, Sinner Saint, Short Kings. We got T.Y. Jackson versus Stephen Crow for the real LPW Grand Championship. Zoe Sager. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but potentially tomorrow night we could have two LPW Grand Championship matches.
Yeah.
You have to tune in to find out. MRB takes on Dean Richter for the Challenge Championship. We got a scramble match with Rose and Nasty Nate and William Taylor are in the match, but they're facing TFA, Christian Starr, and Wolfboy Will Melanza. I don't understand who booked that match. I'm still confused. I should probably yell at the powers that be, but they're busy tonight. at the Clandestine Wrestling Show. Who else am I? Paralera, like I said, they'll be there taking on Kyle Shaw, the Canadian Goose, and they just changed the match. So I don't even know if that's been officially announced yet, the change to the match, so I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy, crazy night. Lumberjack Larry Woods is wrestling. Rich King is wrestling. I mean, IWTV, they have an option now. If you don't want to subscribe, which I suggest subscribing to IWTV, $10, you get a bunch of
good stuff.
But they do have if you just want to buy the LPW show and watch that independently of everything else, you can do that as well. So there's options for that now. And then I'm assuming you want me to plug the rest of the stuff that we've got going on or what I've got going on, but it's at B2 Beards every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with this handsome gentleman here at B2 Beards on all the social media platforms to see what we got going on. We'll have some really fun stuff going on this summer. There's a lot of wrestling, so we're going to have a lot of people in and out talking about a bunch of different shows. And then me, I'm PLUGGO. You can find me at all social media platforms. Just search PLUGGO. My face pops up. That is me. All of my writings are up right now on Love Wrestling CA. My top 5 of the week is up. I got the preview. I got to tweak and finish and get that ready for a drop tomorrow for the LPW 38 written preview. And then for Exposure, 10 a.m. this Saturday with Blair Pacheco of the Grainmaker podcast. We will be chatting Progress, GCW, this LPW show. I'm sure we will be chatting about what goes down Friday night. Yep. If you want a full LPW preview in words on a podcast, it's up right now on Love Wrestling CA as well. I have an interview with Rose up there too.
Yes, very good interview with Rose.
Thank you. I love talking to Rose. She wasn't super excited to talk to me this go around.
Why, does she have a problem with you too?
I don't think she has a problem with me as much as she just, she's worried about her now. She doesn't really seem. She said, but it was a good time. She answered a lot of my questions, at least.
That's fair. That's fair. I like it. You guys know where you can follow me, JPJ Loves Gaming, on all social media platforms. I am here every Thursday night with this fine gentleman for the flagship show here, Between Two Beards. Like he said, Thursday mornings, 9 a.m., Firmly Inc. with Drew. It's been a wild month for us. He's gone solo. We had to miss a few shows. I went solo today, but we should be getting the gang back together next week for Firmly Inc. Thursday mornings at 9 right here on Love Wrestling. Go check out The Hive. I know Josh was in the chat earlier, but I have a show on there with our pal CJ called The Swarm. We do a sports show that releases on Tuesday evenings and a wrestling show that releases just a few hours after we do the damn thing here at 8 p.m. every Thursday night. And then you can catch me on Body Slam on Wednesday nights after AEW Dynamite for Dynamite Up with our friend. It's his birthday today, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Jose on the air.
Absolute stud.
30 years old today. 30 years old, a milestone birthday for the I wish I could go back to 30. Whole decade.
You know what? I gotta say, he's only 30. He holds himself like a mature, older.
He's way more mature than us.
I was gonna say, when we met, we've been following Jose for a while, but when we met him in SummerSlam, it was like, this is one of our people, one of our guys. He's been on the show plenty. He's covered for, when one of us has to be out and about, things like that. So shout out, Jose, you absolute stud. You happy birthday.
A very happy birthday. We love you. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. He's meeting up with a couple of our pals, Ella J and one retired person this weekend, and has spending some time with them. So
retired, ass. I see her everywhere.
Yeah. But all right, y'all, we appreciate you all in the chat. We appreciate DC for joining us earlier. Mm-hmm. This was a fun one. We will see you here next Thursday night, as we will be, I'm sure, reviewing Night of Champions and continuing to continuing to go to All In.
Up for All In, Evolution, Great American Bash,
Saturday Night Main Event, every other show that's happening in the next month, because there's like a dozen of them.
Feel a Pick-a-Palooza coming on.
Maybe we need a pick-a-thon or something.
Yeah, something.
But appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you all. We love you. You know the drill. You know who it's time to say hi to. Say hi to the lovely Sue. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Hey there, PLUGGO and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You you have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.